So this is pivot apartment. If you stand in the room here, and if I tell you there's something back there, which maybe we shouldn't tell you yet, but there's a fair amount of storage space back in there, which you can't tell right now. The client himself actually gave us a brief that was really challenging to meet. He basically said he wanted to entertain 10 people for dinner and sleep 6, which is very challenging in a studio apartment. And it is. But the space also had other requirements like a home office. This panel slides aside. You know, it's one of those things about this apartment that you don't quite know at first glance what might move. And then you come up and you're like, oh, what moves? Discovery. Exploration. It's nice to have surprises in your space. Let's see what's in the fridge. Pull out cabinet as well. But he loves cooking. So the client really wanted a kitchen that was very efficient, but we knew the floor plate was going to be small. So the small footprint was kind of maximized in terms of food cooking, but the table also is part of the kitchen. The table goes up and down. Controls are hidden underneath here. Pull on it, up and down. And you just raise it from table height. So ergonomically, it's at the height that you want. And you can prep your food, your cutting board. You know. So this is part of it. So even though this is a compact footprint, this doubles as counter as an island, basically. Right? But it's a nice thing because, again, historically there was a wall here. So this place is a pre-war apartment that used to be a studio as it is now, but it felt very, very different. It was all cut up in a kind of pre-war fashion with doors everywhere. So now the space is in its most kind of generous, open. There's a lot of storage. All the walls are lined with cabinets. So if you look at it, behind all these doors, it's all storage. But you don't notice it. When the pivoting wall is parked, it just more or less just lines up. And it looks like it's part of the wall. So, step 1. The custom hinge definitely is heavy duty and is doing a lot of the work because it keeps everything stable and connected. Yeah, it's a 1-inch steel pin in there. Step 2. It's kind of like a nice balance between high tech, low tech. Which I love the fact that there's a light in there, but just
It's a thick wall.
It's thicker than a wall in a way. I mean, if your normal wall is about 5 inches, this is 12 inches. It's a cabinet. So now the space is divided in 2. The wall's pivoted. So basically the whole pivoting wall is effectively a cabinet filled with storage, with drawers below. And these flap out. And so you got a little cutout. So it gives you some of the light through the panels.
So that's if you don't really want a wall, but you sort of want some separation.
Yeah, well, it's that whole kind of eye level, right? So you hear, and when you're on the other side, you basically still get the board light, right? So if you wanted to, bring a book to the space, as with a private library, you've got family and cooking, and maybe people are playing this side and you want to get your own kind of privacy, but you still want to get the light, you still want to be connected, but you have your own kind of enclosure. So you get a bit of borrowed light, literally, for the book. You get views out. If you're here, you're kind of like, this is too loud, you kids are distracting me, I need more quietness. I'm trying to study here or something. Or, sorry, too loud. What it does have as a feeling of things like shipbuilding and naval architecture. Small little windows, the hardware in terms of things that latch and batten down. These doors and the drawers stay in there so that they don't move easily once they don't move around. Because the wall moves, you can't have things flopping around. So this door slides. It really does make it into an enclosed private room. So part of the reason why it's quiet is that it's lined with wood, which is, it has a kind of cabin feel, a little hideaway, a little place to go to sleep or read a book. It's also a glorified dressing room. So now you've got space for hanging your clothes.
Really nice.
It's a very efficient detail in small spaces. You know, if you think of a traditional closet space, you're going to have a hanging rod. If you have two, you'll have a hard time reaching the upper one unless you're taller. But if you have one of these, and all you need to do is pull, so you effectively have double the hanging surface. So there's another one on the other side too. So, same idea, same design. So this is a walk-in closet, you know, a very generous walk-in closet.
Yeah.
Also works really good as a space for exercising when you're yoga. But of course the main reason for the space is the Murphy bed. So the wall bed. The client from the beginning was like, I don't really want a Murphy bed. You have your little bedside light. It wasn't a given. You know, it took some convincing and some detailing. And this Murphy bed cabinetry can take any mattress you like, pretty much, except for a waterbed probably. You know, but it really does have a box spring. You know, it's solid. You know, it's resting on the floor and it's solid. So comfort was a concern for the client. Right? Murphy beds sometimes have limitations on what you can actually use for a mattress, for weight concerns and things. But yeah, so you know, coming back to the lying down. So again, it's optional, right? Because you can have visual and acoustic connections, or you can fully enclose it. When you need to get out of the space in your room, near your door, folds away perfectly. Good morning.
Anyway.
If you wanted it to be quiet and close, which, you know, a lot of times if you want to try to sleep in or if you do have guests, this is how you're going to want it.
And it's just a wooden box. I mean, it's a sort of, you know, like...
Cozy.
Yeah.
Right. There's a bit of a concern a lot of people have about connotations of Murphy beds. You know, if you're coming from a place where you've never had a Murphy bed and you've either just read it in the media or you think of it as something else, you may not come at it thinking that it's something that's going to be comfortable, or it'll be easy to deal with as a lifestyle issue, or it might feel like you're living inside the wall. The ultra deep Murphy bed allows everything to be hidden and then behind a wall, so that when the wall is pivoted flat against the rest of the space in the rectangle, there's no way to know that there's a Murphy bed there. Flat. Both the sofas convert into queen size mattresses. That's how you get your +4. It's very compact. You know, it is a queen size. Okay. The design intent is to have multi-functionality for all the elements as possible. Like this table, which works as a table so you can eat. It works as a countertop, as an expansion of the kitchen. So this is a very compact cooking surface, but this works as an additional counter. So as long as you're pressing the button, basically, right? As soon as you let go. There's a sensor in the hardware also. If there's something that obstructs it, it will just stop. And the hardware for this stuff is for offices, right? For stand-up desks. This is probably a little too high. Maybe a bar setting. This is probably a good height, right? Your knives. The point is though that it's sturdy enough. You're basically facing the living room, right? So if you have guests while you're prepping food, you're here and you can still be part of the room because you're kind of straddling that line in the main room. So the flaps can come out for an extended cooking service. And it also works as a home office when it's lower down. So the panel slides aside to expose the office. Got drawers in here. We gotta lower the table a little bit more for that door. But you can actually sit down and have it as a kind of full-fledged office. And really what's happening here, actually, there's a pipe chase behind there. So there's a shallow part in the middle. We really want to capture every square inch. So here it's shallow, here it's much deeper because it's actually to the exterior wall, but in the middle there is pipes.
So you're finding every inch.
Yeah, so the idea about functionality is obviously a design kind of challenge, but there's an opportunity also in maximizing the square footage, square inch almost. Like the building riser, for example, that sits behind here. So this shelving, when the door is closed, it looks like it would be a large cabinet because it's the depth of the counter, 24 inches. But effectively, it's only about 10 inches because there's a riser behind here. The other thing is we actually have a very shallow storage space accessible where you need it. So it's shallow, but this is the depth of something you might hold, 4 inches or so. So you're cooking, it's a very small footprint, but everything is within reach. The refrigerator is teeny. It's really an under-counter refrigerator, so. But in a way, when you live in a city like this, you don't need a lot of refrigerated space. You've got the markets, you've got delis on all the corners. So just pull out for the garbage and recycling. And then even a little drawer that fits in front of the sink. So this is really, your little drawer that you get. It's nice to have all your herbs and your oils and your cooking stuff right there where you're cooking. And then of course if it was there permanently, it would get really dirty, right, while you're cooking. So now your backsplash kind of keeps it clean. So the bathroom, we have full wall-length mirrors, which helps to kind of make the space feel more generous. So it's a very compact, standard kind of bathroom size, if you will, 5 by 7 feet or so. But historically, it was a bathtub, which took up 30% of the room. I was saying we don't need a bathtub. So if we get rid of the bathtub, now you can have a double sink. So 2 people can use the bathroom at the same time. But also you pivot this glass door here, and then you have a shower. So the whole bathroom technically is a shower. Somebody could be on the other side showering. You can still use the sink, brush your teeth, wash your hands, do whatever. While someone else can be on the other side, right? You have your showering. So half the bathroom, sort of like the living room, has multifunctionality. The trick is to not have a curb. So the floor is continuous. The whole floor is pitched to the drain that's on the end over here. So all the water that comes in goes back in there. What's interesting though, you gotta be a bit careful. There's 2 faucets, and this one over here is actually the shower control. There's no other place that we could put this. You can't put it on this wall.
Okay.
The reason you can do things like a shower head is it's a small pipe. There's no kind of plumbing that's going back.
Okay.
This is a thermostatic valve. There's like 4 inches of stuff back in there. And we can't, this is a hallway, which is only about 5 inches wide.
Okay.
You'd be punching through in the hallway and you can't do that. But this had to stay on this wall. That's where all the plumbing is. The shower head is pretty discreet. It's not a large, oversized shower head. And then as you rotate the wall, it just sort of clears it. So if you want to shower, so you put the water on, and you can see that it's coming all the way down. It's not coming on the other side. It's basically collapsing a use that you only use for a small portion of the time. And you fold it flat against the wall, completely out of your way, but it still fulfills the function of being your towel holder. Shower, is it 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And the rest of the day you don't use it, so why should it always take up use? So it's fun to kind of think of space and the things that you use and how they can work together and work better, work harder. Foyer is just sized the right proportion to kind of come in, but it's very deep. It's a very deep cabinet, so you get your normal 24-inch for hanging, but you got a 1 foot deep door. So you use some of that depth for hanging hats, putting shoes, clothing, winter gear, summer gear, and you've got 2 of them. You've got your hang rod, and then all your smaller things all fit on the shelf. And it packs a lot. And otherwise it's sort of unused space, right? Because it's too deep. You really just need this depth for hanging jackets, so when this door folds in, it comes flush to here. So it maintains the closet. So similar ideas again as the rest of the place, it's an efficient use of space. Using hardware, this is heavy duty hinges to support a very heavy door filled with storage. But when it's put away, you don't see it. It's sort of part of the wall in a way. Table, it's got cushions underneath it that helps to slide a little bit easier and also not scratch the floor. So when it's in this location, you have the opportunity to expand these flaps. right? So that's basically like a drawer hardware that's coming out. The client, he basically said he wanted to entertain 10 people for dinner. Can we see 10? Let's see. So now you got your dinner for 10. Cozy, but accomplished.
So the room's gone from a combination of bedroom, living room to, and study and, you know.
Now you got a dining room. You know, client has hosted a few Thanksgiving dinners here, so the big family Thanksgiving dinner been hosted here. Successfully, you might have heard. The cost of buying real estate in New York, like many other big urban centers, is so expensive. You really want to maximize your use of the space. Because when you only have 400, if you're able to recapture a couple extra feet, it makes a big difference. I mean, it's not something you do every day, right? You can hear the air in the back. I mean, I remember even as a child, kind of, I would love moving the bed around from one side of the room to the other if you could, you know. Open up the hatch. Moving your room around, it feels like a new space. It's a nice thing to be able to modulate. And this place inherently, it does that. The wall literally will make different spaces. Or the table that moves or things like that, it really does feel like a different space. Turn this off. You know, and you have your little light. We want it. Thank you.